Welcome back to my videos. In this video, I'm going to be ranking every single Rengoku from worst to best. So make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you guys enjoyed this video, and let's get right into it. Alright, so coming in 8th place is going to be the legendary Satori Rengoku. By legendary, I mean absolute garbanzo. So if you guys are unaware, the only good thing about Satori Rengoku is the fact that the first move does a ton of damage. Like you guys can see, it did 160,000 damage moded. That's kind of the only thing Satori Ren has going for it. The other abilities are honestly pretty bad. I mean, it's also very loud if you guys enjoy loud bloodlines, but pretty much everything about the bloodline is kind of all garbage, but it's usable. So I mean, like, it's a Rengoku. All the Rengokus are good and usable. It's just that this one is definitely the worst out of all of them. All right, so coming in 7th place is gonna be one of my personal favorite bloodlines of literally all time. It is going to be the Ryan Gaiden bloodline. Not only is it one of the drippiest, I don't know why. Because I have the Shinobi race. It makes you this color. But when it comes to the Ryan Gaiden race, I do think that this, I'm not. When it comes to Ryan Gaiden, I do think it's a pretty good bloodline, but it does have its faults. The first move was buffed actually, so there is no more end lag on the first move, so you can use it as kind of like an iframe attack ability. It does have this move. This second move here is honestly kind of one of the most not OG. It was just a really ridiculous stun for a very long period of time. It got nerfed, obviously, and I absolutely love this third move, but it is insanely counterable. It has gaps in it like crazy. You're just not gonna be able to land this ability in anyone decent at PvP. Now, the mode is honestly pretty terrible. I mean, it does a bit of damage to people. That's kind of like all it does. It's just like a damage. I guess the Q spec is okay. The throwable spec is kind of mid as well. So yeah, Ryan Gaiden, very cool bloodline, but unfortunately not that great. Now, coming to 6th place is going to be Forged Rengoku, which dominated the meta for a very long time. If you guys don't know, you can domain yourself and it just puts you in a PvP match. It's useless to do now. I'm not even going to bother doing it because it's just a waste of time. Now, when it comes to Forged Ren, it does a lot of damage, so you guys can see the Z spec. I mean, according to today's standards, it's not that much, but it used to do a lot of damage. The weapon spec is kind of what people use. It's just kind of like a free stun attack, 50-second cooldown, 50k damage. Used to do more as well. And yeah, that's not the throwable. That's the race throwable. Now, another move of Forged Ren that I honestly find pretty good as well is the first one. It's pretty much just an iframe ability. Well, it used to be an iframe ability. I'm pretty sure if you get hit, you get knocked off of it now. But it was pretty much just free damage before. It's kind of mid now. And then obviously you do have the Mo Drain stun attack, which was legendary at the time. And you do actually have a stun. So very mid bloodline overall, just not really that great. This is actually a contender for one of my favorite bloodlines of all time. Coming in 5th place is going to be Diva Rengoku, and I'm of course using no head skin. This is the white beard skin. One of the best bloodlines to ever drop in this game. I don't care if people say that this meta was one of the worst. I love this bloodline. It is so much fun. So first of all, the first ability is a point and click stun attack. Really good for combos in general. It still is good. It does 70k damage, point and click stun. Just not meta that much anymore because people aren't using the bloodline itself. Obviously, you do have the pull ability. This move is an extremely long stun attack. The actual pull range was severely nerfed, so I don't recommend using it anymore. You have the third ability, which used to be really good. It's kind of mid now. I mean, like, it's an all right bloodline. It has its pros and cons. I definitely think it's better than all of the ones below it, but it definitely isn't close to anywhere it was during its prime, which is very unfortunate because it's honestly a very cool bloodline. Now, coming to 4th place is probably gonna be one of the single most versatile bloodlines of all time in this game, Rengoku, and the versatility comes from the mode. So before we get started on the best part about it, let's get started on the abilities. They're just like kind of the most basic abilities in the world. You have a damage ability in the first one that also block breaks if you hold it down completely. Second move is a point and click stun attack, one of the first, by the way, in the game. Before that became a whole, you know, bag of worms that was opened. But Rengoku's mode has a bunch of different abilities. I'll show you the one people use a lot, which is going to be the Animal Spirit. Over the course of the entire ability, it does around 100k damage. It's a very good mode to use in like team fights or just kind of like a bunch of aid stuff, because this C-spec right here also blocks all damage. It gives you the Chi equivalent of whatever's used. I just think Rengoku, this mode is really good for team fights if you stack it with a good, you know, Gen 3 spec. It's just a really, really versatile mode. Honestly, one of the best modes in the game if you know how to use it correctly. Not to mention the fact that these things behind you do actually count as companions. So you have permanently 5 companions walking around you. It's just not as good as some of the other modes in this game, but it is definitely one of the most versatile. Now, I'm going to do honorable mention here, even though it doesn't really make sense. Raiden Sabaru. All right. So the issue I had with this one, you guys may be asking yourself, this isn't a Rengoku, so why is it on this list? I don't know if this is an Akuma or an Rengoku. I'm guessing that this is an Akuma, but I'm going to be putting on this list as an honorable mention. I'm not really going to say much about it. If you guys want to know stuff about Raiden Sabaru, just go check out the tier lists I made. It's a good bloodline. It has a really, really amazing weapon spec. That's about it. By the way, what is your favorite Rengoku on this list? From Tom Console, we'll be checking them out. Now, starting off, the top 3 is going to be Shindai Rengoku, and I'm of course using the legendary Shindai Ramen skin. Why wouldn't I be using that? So not only does it have one of the highest raised blocks in the entire game, I'm looking fresh up in here with my ramen drip, but it not only does it have one of the highest blocks in the game and one of the biggest M1s overall in the game, which is obviously a huge thing. Back in like old competitive and stuff like that, if you use this mode, you were unkillable. You just spammed M1s on people. There's nothing you can do about it. That has kind of changed in the recent years. I mean, the recent year, so, you know, things are different now. The actual abilities are right. It's a damage ability. You do have a block break on the second ability. One of my personal favorite abilities, which is kind of going to be the reason why people use this, is the insanely high damage counter. So basically, you just hit him with that, hit him with any place lock stun, and yeah, they take a lot of damage. Like, he just took like at least 200. He's dead. He's dead, by the way. So he just died from that. Ripperonis to him. Insanely high damage counter with any place lock. It's just the chance of you landing that isn't worth the risk of not having an auto dodge, and is one of the, you know, it isn't as good as some of the other counters. But I do think the place lock is still an absolutely amazing thing. Still one of the best blinds in the game, just not nearly as good as some of the other things now. Now, coming to second place, which you probably thought was going to be first place on this list, is of course Ryan Ren. I'm not using the second mode. I don't like the second mode. We're just gonna stick to the first mode here. Ryan Azur, one of literally my favorite skin ever to be made into this game. Amazing skin. I love it. But this isn't about skins. It's about the bloodlines. So first move is an iframe stun attack. Really, really good. Also, the global cooldown on it, as I'm pretty sure it's a stun global cooldown if I'm not mistaken, so you can stack it with a bunch of other iframes. Some people might get mad at me for saying that, but it's what people do. I mean, people are already doing it. Me saying it isn't going to change things. So sorry if that made someone mad with me saying that you could stack it. Also, the second move, I actually really love this iframe. It was actually nerfed partially because of me, because I used to use this in all my videos, so people kind of picked it up. But it used to be a really, really fast movement speed iframe attack that would be able to hit someone from across the map and do a lot of damage. If you double click on someone, it does double the damage. The further you are away now, the more damage it does. Used to just be kind of like an iframe attack that would also count as a stun if you needed it to be. Really, really good ability. Third move is kind of mid. I mean, it's a stun attack and place locks them, but they can still use moves. And he's gone. Oh, very interesting, huh? Now coming in first place, you guys may not consider a Rengoku, is going to be Boramaki Gaiden. If you, all right, I'm just gonna say this before someone comments, that's not a Rengoku. If you guys do not consider this a Rengoku, just take it off the list. Move everything else up one. All right, you can do the math. You're big boys. I know you can do it. But if you go with my philosophy that Gaidens are kind of just Rengokus in Shindo Life, then not only do you have a really drippy mode, but you also have an extra Rengoku that I'm going to put in this list. Now, you guys may have seen something missing from my tier lists. Boramaki Gaiden. I didn't have this bloodline, so I didn't know how good it was. And I would just say, oh my god. Yeah, this, by the way, retrospect, this definitely would be in the top 3 of all of my tier lists, even the highest damage one. So if you guys watch those videos, go back and watch them, place this in the top 3. But oh my gosh, wow. So let's get started with a air combo move that has a gap in it for some reason. The air combo move has a gap in it. I also don't think it's on the stun global cooldown. If it is, then my bad. But it has a gap in it, which allows you to use literally any move in the entire game. Because hand sides, you could use hand sides in the air combo for some reason, so you could stack up with any move in the game. People do some really wacky combos with it. You guys can see I just did first move and the second move. Really easy combo to do. Allows you to actually extend it with a stun afterwards. Amazing, 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 you know, series. So just use first move, second move, any move afterwards. There you go. Combo king. Honestly, hardest combo to ever make in the game. But I honestly don't really have anything to say about it. You can pretty much use any move with it, and it's an amazing move. It's probably single-handedly probably the best move in the game right now if you can land it. So yeah, that's amazing. Use it with any block breaker. Now, you guys saw me use the second move. It's a pretty high damage stun attack. I honestly find it really good. It actually is projectile as well. Now, the third move I don't really like as much. It's kind of just it's a damage ability that knocks people back. Definitely the worst one of all of the abilities. I like how I haven't even got started on the mode yet. So let's get started on the mode here. This C-Spec is a hit stun over time ability that does over 100,000 damage, has a stun attached to the end of it. It's an amazing ability. Oh my gosh, this bloodline is freaking broken. And then you have the weapon spec, which is actually a counter ability that allows you to recharge all your chi, even allows you to unmode an RPG or whatever. Just be aware that they can use a counter against this because there is gaps in it. So I'd recommend just using a weapon spec rather than this one, like an actual weapon. But you do you. If they don't have a counter, it's free. It's free real estate. And then you have the throwable here. That only did 80k damage, but it actually does it twice sometimes. So it does like 160k damage immediately. I'm flabbergasted that this bloodline exists. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm just flabbergasted. I mean, there's not really much else to say, is there? Like, I'm just gonna start stacking the abilities. You can actually do this with a block break. So I'm just gonna start stacking the abilities like you would. And I just did up to the ability where you'd be able to bypass. If they auto dodge it, just wait until they auto dodge to use it. I have nothing else to say. This bloodline is broken. Thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you next one. Peace.